coaching class arranged by our Department of Electronics of Prudence College of Engineering. So the main intention of this program is to help the students to prepare towards GATE 2021. To help you in this regards, we will upload a couple of videos in the upcoming weeks. So the videos are mainly based on the electronics and communication syllabus. Though the course is based on the ECE syllabus, some subjects like network theory, signals and system can be useful for both EEE students also, electrical branch students also. So you will know the basic pattern of GATE exam, I guess. Okay, so it's like a 100-mark exam in which there will be 65 questions. Out of 65, there will be 10 questions that comes from general aptitude and remaining 55 questions that's from your core subjects like engineering mathematics, electronics devices, analog electronics, digital electronics, communication, control system, network theory, signals and system, etc. So you can expect an average of 6 questions from each subject. Okay, so this time the exam is going to conduct by IIT Bombay. So today I am going to take this subject signals and system. So we will move on to the class. This is the syllabus for signals and system, and the main topics are continuous time signals, Fourier series, Fourier transform, sampling theorem, DTFT, discrete transform, Fourier transform, then Z transform, system and its properties like causality, stability and all, and then impulse response, convolution, frequency response, and some small topics like group delay and phase delay. So today from signals and system we are going to discuss the first topic, that is classification of system. So what is a system? A system is a physical device that is mainly operated based on an input signal. Maybe the input signal is a continuous signal, maybe it is a discrete signal. Whatever it is, it will be given to a system or a physical device like your amplifier or filter, etc. You will get an output or a response. So that is the basic structure of a system. So you can see input is written like it's an x of t, and output or the response is like y of t. So this is a basic classification of a system. The first classification is static and dynamic, and second one is time invariant and time variant system, and third one is linear and non-linear system, and fourth one is causal and non-causal system, and the last is stable and unstable system. Okay, so what is a static and a dynamic system? So static system is also known as a memoryless system, and dynamic system, of course, it's a memory system. So what is a static or memoryless system? That is, for a present output, it depends upon the present input. And what is a dynamic system? For a present output, it depends upon the present input as well as the past input and outputs. So that's why it is known as a memory system. And what is time invariant and time variant system? For a time invariant system, the input-output characteristics doesn't vary with time, and for time variant, input-output characteristics vary with time. And what is linear and non-linear system? Linear system is all about, you already studied what is superposition theorem, right? So linear system that obeys superposition theorem, and non-linear system doesn't obey the superposition theorem. And the next one is causal and non-causal system. Causal system is all about the present output depends upon past input and past output. Non-causal means the present output depends upon the future values also. And the last one, stable and unstable system. For a stable system, a bounded input will give you a bounded output. And for unstable system, a bounded input doesn't give you a bounded output, or it will lead to an unbounded output. So this is the general classification of the system, and we will move on to the detailed explanation with some examples. So the first classification of system, that is static and dynamic system. So if a continuous time system is called static or memoryless, if its output at any instant of time t depends on the input signal at the same time. Otherwise, it's known as a dynamic system or memory system. Okay. So we will discuss an example. Consider a system y of t that's equal to a into x of t. So x of t, as I already told you, x of t is the input, and if you give that input to a system, so this is the response that will happen in the system. So you will get the response y of t or the output y of t. So this is the system response. So how will you check whether this system is static or dynamic? So for example, at time t equal to 1 second or 1, assume time t equal to 1 and just substitute in this equation. Y of 1 is equal to a into x of 1. Means what? At a time t equal to 1, your input is x of 1 and you will get a corresponding output y of 1. Means for a present input, you will get the present output or vice versa. There is no such kind of memory is needed because there is no past input or past output details. So we can discuss another example like y of t is equal to t into x of t plus 6x cube of t. Right? So what is the step? First you just substitute any value for t and you can check whether any past value is there. So assume again you can substitute t equal to 1, then the equation will become y of 1 is equal to 1 into x of 1 plus 6 into x cube of 1. So just look at this. So we can see at time instant 1, the output response is y of 1. That only depends upon the input at 1, input at time instant 1. And again, even though you are taking the cube of the input, but the time instant is same, right? So that means for a present output, we only need 2 present inputs. Means it's a static system. There is no memory is necessary. So it's a memory-less system or static system. And if we move on to another example, like if the response y of t is equal to, we will check it's equal to t into x of t plus 6x into t cube. Right? And just substitute with when t is equal to 2 with any instead of time t equal to 2. Then what will be the equation? So y of t becomes y of 2 that's equal to 2 into x of t. So instead of t you can substitute x of 2 plus 6 into x of 2 raised to 3. So what will be the equation then? Y of 2 is equal to 2 into x of 2 plus 6 into what is 2 raised to 3? That is 8. So listen, you can see for a time instant 2, that is y of 2, what are the input that is necessary? You need to have the input at the time 2 and you should also need to have the input at time instant 8. So that means for a present output, there is a present input component is there and future component is also there. So that means it's a dynamic system. So we can discuss another example. That is the response y of t is equal to 2 into x of t plus x of t minus 4. So how you check it? Like substitute any instant of time t is equal to, you can substitute like 2. Then what is y of t? Y of 2 is equal to 2 into x of 2 plus x of 2 minus 4. So that means y of 2 is equal to 2 into x of 2 plus x of minus 2. What's the meaning? At time instant 2, you need to have the input at the time instant 2 and you So, for example, like in your example, if there is any delay input or any advanced signal input, then that means it's an example of memory system. The second classification of system, that is time invariant and time variant system. So if a system is said to be time invariant, then its input output characteristics doesn't vary with time. Otherwise it's a time variant system. So how will you check whether the system is time invariant or time variant? So this is the step to check whether the system is time variant or invariant. So first, as you all know, x of t is input and y of t is the response or the output. Okay. So first step is to delay the input and take the response. Second step is to take the response first, then delay the output response. So I will repeat. So x of t is the input, take a delay. So delay m units. So you can assume that you are going to take a delay of m units. So it will become x of t minus m, and you are giving that delayed input to a system, and you will get the output, and output is mentioned like y1 of t. So first you will take the delay and you will take the response, or you will input that delayed input to a system. So y1 of t is the response for delayed input. Then second step, this is a step 1 and this is a step 2. So in a second step, just opposite. Like first you will input the signal to a system and you will take the output response, and you delay the output response. So first you are inputting the signal x of t a system, so you will get the output as y of t, and you are going to delay that output by m units. So it is like y of t minus m, and the new output you can write is like y2 of t. And finally, what you are supposed to check is if y1 of t is equal to y2 of t, then it is a time invariant system. Otherwise, like if y1 of t is not equal to y2 of t, then it's a time variant system. Okay, so we will discuss this in detail with an example. So the first example, consider a system response y of t is equal to 2t into x of t. So this is your input x of t and this is the response y of t. If you input x of t into a system, what will happen in the system? The system will simply multiply that input with a component 2t. So this is the process that is happening inside the system. So like if you are inputting a signal x of t to a system, it will simply multiply not only the signal that is coming to a system, it will multiply with a component of 2t, right? So what is the first step? The first step is your signal is input is x of t, and first step you are going to delay that input signal by m units. So x of t will become x of t minus m, and you are inputting that delayed input to a system. What is happening inside the system? It will simply multiply with a component of 2t. So what will be the output? 2t into x of t minus m. This is the first output y0, right? And the second one, second step, what is the second step? Take your input, that is x of t, and take its response. What happens inside the system? What will be the input? It will multiply with the component of 2t, right? So x of t into 2t means you will get y of t is equal to 2t into x of t. What is the next step? You will derive the output response by mu x. So just derive the y of t by y of t minus m. So y of t will become y of t minus m. That's equal to 2t minus m into x of t minus m. So that will be equal to your new output y2 of t, right? So we will write what is y1 of t and y2 of t. y1 of t is equal to 2t into x of t minus m, and y2 of t is equal to 2t minus m into x of t minus m. And then last step, you are going to check whether both the equations are same or not. You can see there is an extra component t minus m here, so definitely you can tell it's a time varying system. Right? We will move on to the next example, that is y of t is equal to 3 into x of t square. Right? So what is the first step? First step is to take the input. Input is x of t. If you input that x of t to a system, it will multiply with 3 and you are taking the time square, right? So x of t, first you should delay the x of t. Will become x of t minus m, and you are inputting that x of t minus m to a system, right? So if you input that x of t minus m to a system, it will become 3 into x of t square minus m. So what will happen inside a system? It will multiply with the constant 3 and time will get squared, right? So this is your output y0. And the next step, take the input x of t. Initially you will go for the response, or you will feed that input to a system, right? So if you are inputting that signal to a system, then your y of t will become 3 into x of t square, right? The next step, once you take the response, you will delay the output response. If you delay the output response, your new output y2 of t is equal to 3 into x of t minus m the whole square, right? And the final step, you are going to check whether y1 of t is equal to y2 of t, right? So this is your y1 of t, that is 3 into x of t square minus m, and this is your y2 of t, that is once you take the response and delay the output, right? So y2 of t is equal to 3 into x of t minus m the whole square. So definitely you can see both the equations are different. So that means y1 of t is not equal to y2 of t, and it's a time variant system. And what if the question is like 3 into x square of t, right? So if it's 3 into x square of t, we will see what is y1 of t and y2 of t. Right? So first step, we are going to take the input x of t and delay the input. So it will become x of t minus m. And you are giving that input to a system. So what the system will do? System will square the input and will multiply with a constant. So it will become 3 into x square of t minus m. Right? So this is your the response y of t is equal to 3 into x square of t. This is the response. And now you are going to delay the total response. If you delay the response, it will become y of t minus m is equal to 3 into x square of t minus m. So this is y2 of t. And check whether these two equations are same or not. You can see this is 3x square of t minus m. The same equation we got at this second equation for y2 of t also. So definitely we can tell y1 of t is equal to y2 of t. It's a time invariant system. Right? So if it's y of t is equal to 3 into x of t square, it was an example for time variant system. But if you consider 3 into x square of t, you can see as an example for time invariant system. We will move on to another example for time invariant and variant system, that is y of t is equal to 2 into e raised to x of t. We will check whether it's a time invariant or variant system. What's the first step? Take the input. You can see this is the input. If you fed the input to a system, what will happen? The system will do the exponential. It will take the exponential of the input and it will multiply with a constant of 2. That is what is happening in the system, right? So first take the input x of t, give a delay of n unit. So if you delay it, x of t minus n, the signal will become x of t minus n. And you will go for the response of the system, right? So the system will do what? It will take the exponential value and multiply that signal with a constant 2. So y1 of t is equal to 2 into e raised to x of t minus m, right? And we will check the second step. Take the input, feed that input to a system and find the response. What is the response? Take the exponential of the input. Whatever the input that is coming, the system will take the exponential and will multiply with a constant of 2. Right? So then this is your output response. Delay the entire output response. If you delay it, you will get the second output by 2 of t. That's equal to what? So if you delay it, 2 into e raised to x of t minus m. What's the final step? You are going to check whether y1 of t is equal to y2 of t. You can see it's 2 into x of e raised to x of t minus m. The same equation we got for y2 of t also. So definitely you can tell y1 of t is equal to y2 of t, and it's a time invariant system. The next classification of system, that is linear and non-linear system. A system that obeys superposition theorem, that is linear system. A system that doesn't obey superposition theorem, that is a non-linear system. So this is the demonstration of superposition theorem. Multiply the input with a weight of a1 and a2 correspondingly. So you will get a1 x of t and a2 x2 of t, and take its sum. So it will become a1 x1 of t plus a2 x2 of t. And finally you are inputting that value to a system and take its response. So the response will become a1 x1 of t plus a2 x2 of t. So this is the response of the system once if you take the sum of two inputs after it is multiplied with two constant values, right? So the next, this is the expression for the left hand side, and this is the demonstration for the right hand side. That means first take the individual response of the input and multiply with a weight. So if you take the individual response, the equation will become response of x1 of t, and this is the response of x2 equal to t into x of t. Okay. So what is the first step? You will consider two values like x1 of t and x2 of t, right? So what is the superposition here? Response of a1 x1 of t plus a2 x2 of t should be equal to a1 response of x1 of t plus a2 into response of x2 of t, right? So you should consider like two inputs. So x1 of t and x2 of t, right? So first one is x1 of t and second one is x2 of t. What is the first step? You will multiply that signal with two constants, a1 and a2, and it will become a1 x1 of t and this is a2 into x2 of t, right? And take the sum of the two inputs. If you take the sum, it will become a1 x1 of t plus a2 x2 of t, right? And what is the final step? Once you do the sum of two signals, then you should input that signal to a system. And what is the response? What will happen in the system? Whatever the input that is coming, in the system, inside the system, that system will multiply with a value of t, right? So that is happening inside the system. So it will become t into a1 x1 of t plus a2 x2 of t. So how can you write it? So it is a1 t x1 of t plus a2 into t into x2 of t. Right? And the next thing we are going to check the left hand side, sorry, right hand side. So that is take the two inputs x1 of t and x2 of t, right? And first you should find what is the response once if you input the signal to a system. So what the system will do? System will simply multiply whatever be the signal that's coming. It will simply multiply with the constant, the term t, right? So it will become t into x1 of t and this will become t into x2 of t, right? And what is the next step? Multiply with the weighted sum, right? So not weighted sum, multiply with the weights. So it is a1 and this is a2. So the equation will become t into a1 into x1 of t and this is t into a2 into x2 of t, right? And what's the final step? You will do the addition and find what is the total response. So it is a1 into t into x1 of t plus a2 into t into x2 of t, right? And we should check whether this equation, that means the left hand side equation, should be equal to the right hand side to obey the superposition theorem. Just check. It is a1 t x1 of t, a2 t x2 of t. You can see the same equation. We got at the second expression also. So you can tell it obeys superposition theorem and it's a linear system. We will discuss another example, that is y of t is equal to x of t square. So first step, take x1 of t, x2 of t, multiply with a weight a1 and a2. So it will become a1 x1 of t and it will become a2 into x2 of t, right? Do the addition. So it is equal to a1 x1 of t plus a2 x2 of t. And finally you will feed that signal to a system, right? what the system will do? It will square the time value, right? So it is equal to a1 x1 of t square plus a2 into x2 of t square. And the next step, consider the same two inputs x1 and x2. First you should feed both the inputs to a system. What the system will do? It will square the time value. So the equation will become x1 of t square and it will become x2 of t square. Right? The next one, you will multiply with two values like a1 and a2. So the equation will become a1 x1 of t square and this is a2 x2 of t square. And finally do the addition. And the equation will become a1 x1 t square plus a2 x2 of t square. You can see both the equations are same and you can tell it's a linear system. So the next example, that is y of t is equal to x square of t. So take the two inputs x1 of t and x2 of t. What's the first step? Multiply with the values a1 and a2, or else you can take a and b. It's up to you. So a1 and a2, and it is equal to a1 x1 of t. And this is a2 into x2 of t. Do the addition and take the response. If you do the addition, a1 x1 of t plus a2 into x2 of t, right? And if you take the response, what happens in the system? It will square the input. So it is equal to whatever be the input that's coming, it will square it. So the input here is a1 x1 of t plus a2 x2 of t. So it will square it a1 x1 of t plus a2 x2 of t square. And the second step, x1 of t and second signal, that's x2 of t. First you will take the response. So it will become square the input. So x1 square of t, this is x2 square of t, and multiply with the constants a1 and a2, and multiply with the output a1 x1 of x1 square of t, and this is a2 x2 square of t. Finally do the addition and the equation will become a1 x1 square of t plus a2 x2 square of t. Final step, we should check the first one and second one same or not, right? Similar or not. So you can see if you expand this, a1 x1 of t whole square plus a2 x2 of t whole square plus like a plus b whole square formula plus 2ab. 2 a1 x1 of t into a2 x2 of t. So you can check definitely all the equations are different and you can tell there is an extra term here. So it is a non-linear system because it doesn't obey the superposition here. So the next classification of system is causal and non-causal system. Okay. So causal system means if the output of the system at any instant of time depends only on the present input, past input and past output. Okay, so if it's a non-causal system, that means the output at any instant of time depends on the present input, past input maybe, but it depends upon the future input and future output. So if there is any kind of elements like future input and future output, then that will come under non-causal system. Otherwise, present input, past input and past output, which means it's a causal system. So we will discuss with an example. Y of t is equal to x of t plus x of t minus 1. Okay. So how do you check whether the system consists of fully present input, past input or future output? So the same technique that we used for the first classification, that is static and dynamic. So we will substitute some values for the time instant t and we will check whether it consists of future input or past output. Okay. So we will consider when t equal to minus 1 and t equal to 0 and t equal to 1 for the listeners. So if y of minus 1 is equal to x of minus 1 plus x of minus 1 minus 1, right? So that will become x of minus 1, right? And if you substitute when t equal to minus 1, this is equation, when t equal to 0, y of 0 is equal to x of 0 plus again x of 0 minus 1. What is x of 0 minus 1? It is x of minus 1, right? And the next one, when t equal to 1, y of 1 is equal to x of 1 plus x of 1 minus 1. What is x of 1 minus 1? It is x of 0. And you can check all the three equations. To get an output at time instant minus 1, you need, this is the present input, and x of minus 2 means it's a past input, right? And check the second equation. To get an output response at time instant 0, what are the inputs that's necessary? This is the present input, that means x of 0, and x of minus 1 means it's a past input at the time instant minus 1, right? And to get an output response at time instant 1, you need to have the input at the same time instant 1 and the past input, that is at the time instant 0. So it only consists of present output, only consists of present input and past inputs. Means it's a causal system. We will move on to the next problem, that is y of t is equal to x of t plus 2 into x of 3 minus 2. So we will check whether it's a causal or non-causal system. So as I already told you, you can select any time instance. So I select one negative value and positive value. Okay. So when t equal to minus 1, what will be the equation then? Y of minus 1 is equal to 2 into x of 3 minus minus 1. So what is 3 minus minus 1? That's 4. Right? And if it's y t equal to 0, then y of 0 is equal to x of 0 plus 2 into x of 3 minus 0, that is x of 3. And y of 1 is equal to x of 1 plus 2 into x of 3 minus 1. 3 minus 1, that's x of 2. And we will check whether it consists of present output or present input, future input or future output to determine whether it's a causal or non-causal system. So we will check the first equation. For the response at the time instant minus 1, you can see we need to have the input at the time instant minus 1 as well as the input at the time instant 4. So for the time instant minus 1, the output at the time instant minus 1, you need to have the input at time 4. Definitely this portion is the future input, right? And if you select the second equation for a time instant 0, the response y of 0 is equal to the combination of the present input at the same time instant 0 and a future input, that is x of 3. And if you check the third equation, for a time instant 1, output y of 1 is equal to present input at the same time instant, present input x of 1 as well as the future input x of 2. So it also consists of the present input and future input, right? So for a present output, you need to have a present input as well as a future input in this equation. That means there is a future element comes here, means it is a non-causal system. So you can tell it's a non-causal system. Clear? So for example, if in your equation if there is any kind of delay or any kind of advanced signal, then we should check a negative value and a positive value to determine whether it's a causal or non-causal system. So the last property of system, that is stable and unstable system. What is a stable system? For a bounded input, the stable system will give a bounded output. If it's an unstable system, for a bounded input, it will give an unbounded output. Okay, so we will directly move on to the example. Y of t is equal to x square of t. How you check? If you give a bounded input to the bounded value to the input, whether you will get a bounded value at the output, right? So you should check. So for that, you already know the input is x of t, and if you give the x of t to a system, you will get a response y of t. So from the equation we can tell. So what happens is, once if you fed the input x of t to the system, it will simply square the input, right? So y of t will become x square of t. So for easiness, what you are going to do is, like, we will find a test signal and we will input that test signal to the system, and we will check whether we are getting a bounded bounded output or unbounded output. Okay. So as an example, we can select a test signal is equal to u of t. What is a u of t signal? It is a unit step signal, right? We all know unit step signal. So means from 0 to infinity, it's having an amplitude one, right? So we can determine the value of u of t at any instant of time. If the value of u of t at -1, that is 0. If the value of u of t at time t equal to 2 or 3, we know it is 1. So up to infinity, we know the value of u of t. It is 1, right? So this is an example of a stable system, because we can determine the value of u of t at any instant of time, right? So it is already defined. So even if you have a bounded input, you will get a bounded output for u of t. So what we are going to do is, like, you will input this u of t signal as a test signal to the system. So if you input this u of t to the system, whether you are getting a bounded input or unbounded input, so bounded output or unbounded output, that we are going to check. Okay, so instead of x of t, I am going to input u of t here to a system, and what the system will do here? The system will simply square what will be the input signal that's coming. Okay, so that means your output response y of t is equal to u square of t, right? So we already studied, if you square a step signal, it is the same step signal itself. So u square of t is equal to u of t itself. And u of t, we can tell u of t is a bounded input, bounded output signal. So we can definitely tell this y of t is a stable system. We will move on to next example, that is y of t is equal to 2 into x square of t, right? So as I already told, that means you can take the step signal. So here what happens, if you have an input x of t, what happens inside the system? You will square the input, then you will multiply with a constant of 2, right? So the output y of t is equal to 2 into x square of t. So what we are going to check is whether the system is a bounded or unbounded system. That means do the same process what we done in the previous exam. That is, use a step signal as a test signal. So if it is u of t is fed to the same system with the same response, right? So the response is what? First the input will get squared, then it will multiply with a constant of 2, right? So y of t is equal to 2 into u square of t. As I already mentioned, if you take the square or cube or any format of a unit step signal, you will get the same step signal. So y of t is equal to 2 into u of t, right? How you plot 2 into u of t? That is like, so instead of 1, the amplitude is increased, it's equal to 2, and this is u of t, right? So this is 2 into u of t. But even though this is there is an amplitude multiplication happened, we can easily determine the output at any instant of time. Even though if it's infinity, if the time is moved to infinity, the amplitude is not changing. It is still the same value 2, right? So it is a bounded output for all the bounded inputs. So you can tell this system is a stable system. The next problem, y of t is equal to integral of x of t, right? So if you have an input x of t, if you fed that x of t into a system, what the system will do? What will be the input that is coming? It will integrate that input, right? So you will get y of t is equal to integral of x of t, right? So then take the unit step signal as a test signal. Take u of t as the input. If you fed that u of t into the system, the output y of t will become integral of u of t, right? What is integral of u of t? What's the amplitude of u of t? From 0 to infinity, the amplitude is 1 into dt. If you integrate, it is equal to t, right? If you remember, if you integrate an impulse function, you will get a unit step function. If you integrate a unit step function, you will get a ramp signal. Okay, and if you integrate a ramp signal, you will get a parabolic signal. Okay, so what is the expression for a ramp signal? R of t is equal to t when t greater than or equal to 0 and 0 otherwise, right? What's the answer that we have seen? It's equal to t. So it is a ramp signal output. How do you plot a ramp signal? It's like this, unit ramp signal. Okay. So the speciality of unit ramp signal R of t, it's having a slope 1, right? So if the value 1, you can determine the amplitude. If it's more to infinity, it's increasing. So the graph is increasing or the amplitude is increasing. At the time extent t is equal to infinity, we cannot determine what is the exact amplitude. So that means this R of t is a unbounded output signal. So we can easily tell this will lead you, if you are giving the input is a bounded input, then the output is a ramp signal, that is a unbounded signal. So you will get an output that is unbounded. This signal is an example of unstable system. So till now we discussed all the classifications of system, and there is one speciality or special category in system, that is LTI system. That is linear time invariant system. So how do you check whether the system is LTI or not? linear time invariant system. That is one of the important classification in systems. And that's it for today. Thank you.